In a world where anyone can be a coach, what does becoming a coach actually take and mean? Hello and welcome to the Boostara podcast. I am your host, James. On the Boostara podcast, we speak to leaders in business and uncover the truths and insights from their amazing experiences. At Boostara, we help businesses boost growth, cut costs, and gain better business insights. If you would like to learn more about how we can help you, type the word growth into the comments below, and I will be sure to reach out. Today, and it's quite fantastic because I think we're at extremes in terms of time difference. Your early morning, Tom, and my it's kind of getting dark on my side. I'm very excited to announce we're joined by Tom LeNoble, CEO of the Academy for Coaching Excellence. Hello and welcome, Tom.
Hi, James. It's great to be with you all the way from Maui, Hawaii.
I know that's you definitely now you win the award for the biggest time difference. Absolutely amazing to have you on, Tom, and I've been looking forward to this all week. But I've got to recognise that maybe some of our listeners are not familiar with yourself, not familiar with what you do and I know this is going to be hard to do in as condensed a way as you can. Could you just give us a little bit of an overview of Tom LeNoble, your journey to where you are today?
I will do that for you. It's great to even be able to do it. I like to say I retired, being retired to be inspired. I had a great corporate career working for some giants like MCI that broke up all the long distance all the bell companies for long distance. I had led Walmart.com's customer service. I ran global service operations at Palm. I was in the first 75 employees at Facebook and interviewed with Mark Zuckerberg when he was 19 and
Wow.
ran a company as a chief support officer that's now the backbone of the Geek Squad. Worked at a dating site that Match.com bought. I managed that merger and a host of other things. And then I fell in love, got married, and traveled the world. But I knew I had more to share and more to give back. So today I'm a coach. I'm a best-selling author, which is very exciting to say. I'm a speaker, and I have my own podcast, Opening Pathways. And yes, I'm the CEO of the Academy for Coaching Excellence. We train coaches around the world. It's 26 years old. I actually took coaching from the same curriculum back in the late 90s, if you can imagine, before coaching was even a real thing. I had to call it employee development. And so there's a little bit about me. I can share more, but I'm sure you'll ask me some questions to get there.
Yeah, well, I mean, amazing for everyone listening, and that breadth of experience. I mean, I think part of what you've shared there, has fed into who you are today and what you do. But I kind of want to kind of poke a little bit on the coaching side of things because we talked about it previously about anyone can be a coach. In a way, anyone can just put coach in front of their name or can say, I'm a coach without any formal training or, much experience. I think, a lot of people hearing your experience, the companies you've worked for, your journey, they would be very happy to have a conversation with yourself and just to have some of that experience and that expertise rub off on themselves. And I think that's how a lot of people perhaps view coaching. But also, I do believe there's a lot more depth to it, and I just want to get your insight on,
Yeah.
how has coaching changed, and what does it mean to be a coach?
I look at it this way. People can claim they're a coach. We have a competitive marketing. Coaching is now a 15 billion, 15 with a B, billion dollar industry. And it started from, humble beginnings and has nothing but grown. And the market has gotten so competitive. There's even things that are being presented now that aren't really coaching. They're talking about you can give up coaching and you can clear your clients in 10 or 15 minutes. Well, I believe you probably could clear somebody, but that's not making lasting change in someone.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're going to be a coach, there's many different ways you can call yourself a coach because there's, of course, ICF certified. There's a body in Europe that's the same, International Coaching Federation, where you actually get a credential. of where you are as a coach at different levels. It's pretty rigorous to do, which at the Academy for Coaching Excellence, we're a level 2 ICF certified academy, which means we can certify coaches ourselves
Mm,
at certain levels and we can do the assessments ourselves, which is great to be able to do. But I think when people are interested in becoming a coach, I really encourage them to look across the board, determine what they're going to do with it, and what they really want to be as a coach, because you can affect people's lives and harm people if
mm,
you're not trained properly. A great example is the difference between when I think someone comes for coaching and as a professional coach, you identify this person really needs a different kind of professional. They may need some sort of therapy or something that's more deeper and then come back to maybe being coached, but there's something going on there. And what happens today is people who aren't trained properly can step into those areas and perhaps do more harm than good. Some of the top areas of coaching today are wellness. Leadership is taking a huge leap because leaders now don't want to just be seen as someone in authority, someone who's at the top of an org chart. They want to be able to make change and shift change within people, mentor people, guide people, and coach people.
That's amazing. You just kind of reminded me of the kind of I didn't realize, but I do get I do get a level of coaching within the community that I'm involved with, and probably the most beneficial for myself for the kind of situation I'm in is the mindset training, which I guess exactly what you said there about you can do more harm than good if you're pushing someone on leadership coaching, for example, but they're just not at that point. They're not at that right level. Actually, they need mindset or they need wellness above anything else. Then I suppose is that where the harm comes?
Well, it does. Or someone comes to you for coaching about a relationship, and you realize that what they're coming to you before is deeper than the skill of coaching.
Mm,
And, or someone comes to you for leadership training, and there's some experience they've had that is much deeper than coaching takes. And they should see a professional first. But let's get back to coaching because it's a really great topic for mindset shifting and what you're talking about. I'll give you some
mm,
perfect examples. I talk with clients a lot that are um, CEOs that have been in their career for a while and are making a shift and they don't want to stop working and they're trying to figure out what to do next. And what I find often happens is they've had a dream that they've had long before they even had their successful career. And someone either told them they couldn't do it, shouldn't do it,
mm,
wouldn't be able to do it, and how they can step in that. Another is often people who have either going through a change, they're losing their job, they're losing their position, which can be devastating to us. And I find that so many people have their foot in the past about what happened with a foot in the future about where they're going. Well, if you just go outside and try and walk with one foot in the past and one foot in the future, you're not going to get very far if you don't pull that back foot in the future. And any good recruiter that you're trying to find a new position for is going to identify that. So that is coaching, how you help people get present in the future.
mm,
Or another example is people who are looking to move up in an organization or even laterally and how they're looking at these things are all ripe for a coach to do. I think that it's a great way. Other things I do with people are resilience coaching, which is one of my favorite things because of my own life experiences of where people don't remember what they've either already been through and survived, accomplished, and so they don't bring the evidence to this new challenge they're having
mm,
that feels new, risky, frightening. I can't do it, whatever they're feeling, sometimes even overzealous, but they forget the evidence of what they've accomplished in their past and how they can use that right now to
mm,
move forward.
That's amazing. I mean, what would you say the underlying skill of a coach is? that is it being able to ask the right questions and being skilled at identifying or being able to make that connection. Where I mean,
Yeah,
because you work with coaches, you train coaches, right?
I do.
What do you
Yeah.
look for in an exceptional coach?
I think one thing is the willingness to listen.
Mm.
So many people today listen while they're thinking of how they're going to respond
Mm.
rather than trust what they're going to say. As a coach, you need to be listen and be really present or you're going to miss something. The thing about this, what I call the art of listening, is when we do this, where we're thinking about how we're going to respond, you're missing out on what's being said. Most importantly, the person that's communicating with you knows you're not listening. It's
Mm.
an interesting thing, right? The other thing I have in my practice personally, is something I call the haystack method. People say that it's like finding a needle in a haystack. trying to figure this out, and it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Well, I happen to believe that you have your own answers. My job is to hold the space, help you clear away the hay so you can find your needle.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. But you mentioned before that I mean we've said on previous conversations that it is more saturated now, the market with coaches, right? So with a more saturated market, as you've seen, how does that change the way that coaches in general are finding clients or clients are finding coaches? Is it, clients are actively, they know what they need, they know who they need, they're searching them out, or is it still a case of coaches trying to show themselves off as a kind of a brand image?
There's some thoughts behind this, and everybody has an opinion of that you should have your own niche and should be very focused in that niche, and that's where you're going to get your success. There are other people that are like, why do I need a niche? I can use my skills more broadly with people.
Yeah.
I think people have to find out as a coach what's going to work for them. But let's face it, people, when they're looking for coaching, typically are looking for something. And so
Mm.
if it's about your relationship, you're going to probably look for a relationship coach. If it's about work, you're going to look for somebody that specializes in that. If it's about fitness or wellness, you're going to look in that area. We at the Academy for Coaching Excellence have this amazing team that I work for, that we train you in the skills of coaching, and we have a specific methodology, which we have time, I'm happy to share with you. And so you then, once you're go through the program, and if you choose to get certified, you can then figure out where your niche is or how you want to do that. We have courses that help you with the further thing along as well.
Wow.
There's a wonderful summit coming up for people looking for coaching called the Dream Coach Match Summit that's happening in January, that is being put on by and it's ICF certified, and I mean sponsored, as well as the European body, where it's going to bring a lot of people looking for coaches together. There'll be coaches there, but how people looking for coaches learn more about coaching and get matched with the coach that's right for them. I love this idea where we're creating a forum that's not just to bring coaches together, but people looking for coaches to allow them to find things. So there's multi different ways of doing this. I think that finding the right coach for you is the most important thing in what you're looking for, and that they have the skills. And I encourage people to do their background. If somebody has not been through
Yeah.
at least accredited or some sort of program that is not a quick fix or quick teaching of coaching, which there's a lot of marketing stuff going on today. It's a very competitive market, and if you want to have real success with coaching, it's not a quick fix. Yes, somebody might clear your head, but that's not going to make lasting change of what you're trying to uncover and find.
That's interesting. I mean, I think we've touched upon this on previous conversations, the sorts of misconceptions that clients have when we're working with a coach, and I mean that's one of them. Is there anything else that you commonly see with customers, clients when they're working with coaches? What they believe
Well,
that it's going to be like, the process is going to be like this, or it's going to cost this, or they're going to get this from the coaching experience.
yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a coach, find someone that has a program, has a contract, has This is, you know, people say to me often, does a coach have a coach? Well, my response is the same. Does a dentist fill their own cavities?
Yeah,
Unlikely, right? If you don't have a coach that has a coach, I have three. If you don't have a coach that has a coach, to me, that's something to be concerned about. If they don't have a contract that is talking about how they keep your information confidential,
yeah,
how it's going to be structured, how the billing is going to happen, where they keep your information, and how secure it is, I think some of these things are important when you're looking for a coach along with, are they referenceable? Do they have people that you can look at and talk to? I know a lot of work I do with CEOs and founders of companies at that level, and it is confidential. So some of that I can't share, but I certainly share about it and have contracts in place to make sure that they understand that. And then pricing, there's pricing all over the map, and to remember that because it seems less expensive doesn't mean you're going to get the same quality of coaching you will with somebody that is expensive, just like it doesn't mean somebody that's super expensive
uh,
is better than somebody offering a fair price. So the net for me is, if you're looking for a coach, do your homework, talk to a few people,
mm.
and ask the right questions.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what you said there about having a coach themselves. I think it feeds into accountability as well, right? Because I think this is true for all all top leaders should have or do have a mentor of some sort. Because if you're left in your own bubble, it can be very easy for the ego and for for other things to come in. Well, I'm doing everything exactly right,
Yeah.
and there's no one else, saying otherwise. You just have yes people all around you. But having a coach that's actually scrutinizing you, that's only going to do good for yourself and for your customers.
Yes, well, if you go through a program like ours at the Academy for Coaching Excellence, for example, part of the program is you have no choice. You have a mentor coach and part of the process before you can be certified. And it's rigorous in that way. And know that someone who is a certified coach has CEUs, just like any other profession that requires ongoing education. There's a requirement every year to keep your certification. And those CEUs are also demonstrating competency.
Mm,
So, depending on what you're wanting coaching for, there's certainly people that aren't certified that can be great coaches. I'm not saying everybody has to be certified, but you do want to look under the cover, so to speak.
yeah,
You want to lift up the hood and see what's there, because there's a number of coaches that are billing themselves as doing things that they probably don't have the skills to do. They may be smart, they may be able to communicate with people, but they may not have the skills to really make lasting change and make shifts that you're looking for as a
yeah,
client.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Tom, would it be possible for you to maybe elaborate on a couple of examples of maybe your own clients or the work that your team has done with coaching the coaches, on those sort of transformational examples that you've had?
I will. I have somebody I was sharing early about a CEO. Then they're changing they've had this amazing career and they're retiring, but they don't want to stop working. And you tease out a little bit and hear from them what it is they always wanted to do, and you find out some of the reasons. Well, haven't you done that? Well, tell me about what you haven't done. And it's so much fun to uh, find the possibility to do some of these things they always wanted to do. I know somebody that's been a nurse practitioner forever and had an amazing career, and they always had this dream to be a hairdresser. Well, they're going
Mm,
to retire and go to cosmetology school, and learn how to do this because it was always a dream. It's interesting to have those people, or um, someone that comes to you and you see that in their history, even within the same company, they've moved around a lot and not for a meaningful reason. Certainly,
mm,
we move around a lot today, even within a company. And you find out that they always wanted to be a manager of people,
mm,
but no one took the time to share with them what that meant.
yeah,
I have a client that I worked with, and after I shared what it meant to manage people, this person looked at me and said, I don't want to do any of that. Well, what we uncovered is this person was going to be an exceptional project manager, someone who manages projects through people, but they don't manage the people. That person had this revelation and went on, completely shifted their career. They've been on a lightning fast speed, moving up and out and broadening their career as they're going. So
Mm.
these are a couple of examples. I'll give you one of my favorite, though. It's so simple and basic. One of my favorite restaurants in San Francisco. I'm there far too often. I watched a bus person and I watched him working. And I asked myself the question, why is this person not a server? He could make so much more money. So I asked him one day, why aren't you a server? So he started giving me all these reasons why he wasn't a server. He was shy. Well, I could see that wasn't true. That he was going to get locked into being a server and never be able to follow his dreams in life because he'd get used to the money. I found out he's a pilot at 19, a pilot flying an airplane by himself, studying to be a commercial pilot.
Wow.
So I uncovered all these things that weren't true about this idea of why are you not doing this where you could make more money to support all these things you want to do. So we talked it over for a while and we didn't really have a formal relationship. We just got to know each other. And so one day he came to me and he said, well, they offered me the server job one more time. And I said, well, what'd you do? So I just told him no. So I looked at him and I said, would you be willing to try this? Ask them if you could just do 2 shifts and see what it felt like. See how it felt to you to do 2 shifts of being a server. Well, I'm not going to take this story through the whole thing. I'm just going to tell you the outcome. He's a server in that restaurant today. His piloting is going much faster because he has more money to pay for it.
Yeah.
All his dreams are happening faster. There is nothing more satisfying than have him come to my table and take my order. I know this sounds simple, but this is what a coach can do for someone and shift someone's life of seeing things that to us are so obvious when we look at them. A good coach realizes, well, it may be obvious from what I'm seeing, it's not obvious to the person.
Mm.
I need to get out of the way of what I think, listen, in my case, as I call it, remove the hay so the person can see their own answer.
Mm.
Because in his case, there was all this stuff in the way of seeing how this one simple step in his life at 19 could help him reach his goals and dreams.
Mm. Something that strikes me from that as well, and I don't know whether you'd agree with me, is someone taking a genuine interest in wanting to know and exactly do that, remove the hay, right? If you feel somewhat invested or somewhat interested in, why, when it's obvious, right? Why isn't this person going this route? What is stopping them? What more do I not know about this that could help them? But without that interest, without that kind of investment, then also from the kind of human aspect, that person doesn't that doesn't go any.
Yes, yes. No, I find as humans, I do it. We get hung up in our own thoughts. We get hung up in things. And sometimes we're spinning in our head and we don't realize the power of saying something out loud
Yeah.
and hearing it ourselves, getting it out of swirling in the head into, we'll just call it physical reality. And
Oh,
a good coach, what they're doing is they're having a conversation, they're holding this space, and they're hearing things and they're asking good questions like, tell me more or tell me about,
yeah.
and having the person speak to what these you learn as a good coach of things to focus on. And even the person saying it out loud and hearing the feedback, they start to have their own mini epiphanies,
Mm,
and see it for themselves. It's really great. It's not about telling someone what to do. It's about holding the space so they can see things for themselves.
mm. Where do you then, think AI comes into play with coaching? Because there are a lot of platforms, coaches. There's individual coaches that are making avatars of themselves. These chatbots that people can get advice from. What does it mean for the coaching industry?
I I love this question. I have my own podcast called Opening Pathways, and part of what I do is interview tech CEOs and founders, and 85% of them are doing something in AI. Fascinating what I've learned from people applying it in the medical space to psychology to all of these things. In fact, I will tell you AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And if you don't embrace it at some level, you will be left behind because it's not going anywhere. It's sort of like those of us that are old enough. I remember watching the first fax happen and we thought it was magic. And then email came and thought it would change our lives. And indeed it did. Now we all try to get away from it. And then the
Yeah.
internet came and we thought the world was going to come to an end. And we humans adapt. Well, AI is here. And I think for coaching, there is so many things that AI can do. First of all, if you're a good coach and you're busy, you can get bogged down in the administrative tasks that need to be required to do everything from prospecting to collecting. And there's a perfect way for AI, and there are applications out there with AI to help streamline that and help that happen for you faster. So it's doing a lot of the work for you. I think we talk a lot about AI replacing people, and indeed that will happen, which is going to bring coaching and mental health more in the forefront as this happens over time over the coming years. However, the opportunities I think that come with AI is how we use it in helping people to discern what's next for them, how
Mm,
we use it. So, this whole idea not only of administrative, but how we learn what are the skills that people will need in AI and help them find them or adapt the skills they have or use them in a new way. So I just think there's so many opportunities coming. I know I learned of a company recently that even has a module. They have it for many different things, but for coaching, that you literally take the model off the shelf. You can do customize it as much as you want, or you can do something as simple as put your name, your rates, and that kind of pertinent data in,
yeah.
and it does the rest for you. And these kinds of things are going to separate coaches that are really successful from ones that are just trying to get by. And people are going to demand it in the future. And
Mm,
then you come to avatars and all that stuff. People are going to start looking for the kind of new, fun, engaging stuff as opposed to the what will become mundane one day.
mm,
So AI's here. It's not going anywhere, and I encourage people to look at it and uncover what we can do with it. I know at the Academy for Coaching Excellence, it's one of our number one top objectives for next year. We're already using AI in some respects, but how we can look at it in our business from everything from prospecting to how we present stuff to people, whether it be on our website or in our marketing or in how we produce our courses. Soup to nuts, really, you could say, of how we look at where it can help us, not replace us, but
yeah.
serve us. I love the idea where AI sits behind you and is sort of like your assistant that you hire, that the longer you work with your assistant in real life, the more they get to know you and can help you and do things for
Right.
you. Well, AI can be that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I write a lot and I don't use it to write. I don't use it to author. I use it to edit. And then I have to edit what it edited, but it's sort of like feedback you get as if you were already presenting it to somebody that they're telling you, well, you could polish this here or there, that or sparks a different idea of might how you phrase something. So I think how we use it and how we demystify what we can do with it. And most importantly, I really encourage people that are going right now, AI, oh no. Take a course, take something. They're free courses. Take something to get yourself acquainted with it, play around with it, and see what it's about instead of um, doing what I remember people doing with email and the internet and many other things in their beginning of burying their heads in the sand. And they're on the internet today because otherwise you didn't function in life. It's
Yeah.
no different.
Yeah, yeah. I love what you said though, like demystifying AI. I've got this question for you that I ask pretty much everyone that comes on the show. So yourself as a business coach, but also seeing other coaches that you work with. If AI could take one part of your function, your day to day job role, and just this off your hands, done, right? What would have the biggest impact on a coach?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is anything administrative. Coaches become coaches to coach. And, in a different field where it applies to, we see so many doctors leaving practice today because they're so mired with paperwork and forms and justifications. They became doctors to be doctors to help people.
Yeah,
Bring that back to coaching. Good coaches became coaches to coach, not to get mired down in admin. So I think that's one area where AI could do an incredible job
yeah,
in helping us is streamlining all the busy work we have to do as coaches. The other thing that I think is really useful is how do we use AI in prospecting,
hmm,
finding our clients, helping us find clients because, um, you know, clients find us, but their AI has a great way and methodology, as you well know, James, of finding and matching people, of how we can do that to streamline some of that. Because again, anything we can do to get coaches talking to coaches, back to my dentist. We all get cavities, patients are gonna show up.
yeah, yeah,
But if you don't know the dentist is there in the plethora of other dentists that are available to you and what's their nuance is, what's special about them, you're not going to know which dentist to go to, or you're certainly as a dentist may not be chosen. I think it's a great area where AI can be used as well. But back to coaching, I think it's perfect and it's coming and it's happening. The coaches that I know that are doing it are finding great value in it. I think one thing that's difficult is I hear from a lot of coaches, especially if they're new in their practice, is I can't afford. I can't yet afford to use AI. And so I think that people building and creating AI need to find ways to help people grow into AI, not just here's our package, take it and run with it. I
mhm,
think somebody successful in this space is going to find a way, and I challenge you all to do it that are working in this space, to find a way to help these new coaches with something affordable that they can grow into, that helps them build and grow their practice, that isn't so costly that they can't even in their mind think about it's even being possible.
yeah,
Because quite frankly, if you're smart as somebody building AI, getting them early when they're green, they're going to grow, they're going to be with you as they grow, they're going to be able to buy more and use more functionality.
yeah,
But when you're new to it, even early on, you put a lot of energy, often a lot of money into becoming a coach, and you just need to coach
yeah,
and be able to survive. And so that's one thing I challenge the industry to do is to not forget the newbies in the crowd that are
yeah.
just getting started or have smaller practices, of how we support them with AI as well so
Yeah.
they can grow.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, genuine, true insights, right? For the newbies, right? It's tough work building a business, right? That's something that, you're not new in the business world. And you've, in fact, got your book just recently out on the market, right? Um,
Yes.
and
It's my life in business suits, hospital gowns, and high heels. And what I didn't share with you, James, and your viewers is through that everything I've told you, I've had two life-threatening illnesses. One I was told was terminal. I've lived with metastatic cancer the last 13 years, and I'm still here. So you heard about the business. You just learned a little bit about the hospital gowns, that
yeah,
flimsy piece of fabric that never ties well in the back.
yeah.
And if you want to know about the high heels, you'll have to get the book. I'm so excited to tell you I made bestseller in the US and
Wow.
international in
Wow.
15 days. So it's really exciting. It's really about helping the reader know it's a memoir, it crosses over into self-help. But my mission was to help people understand that who we are today is the sum of who we've been in our life. And there's
Mhm.
parts of our lives, or most of us, that are want to be kept private. They
Yeah.
seem outrageous. We might even have some shame around it, or that people just wouldn't understand. But the reality is, you wouldn't be who you are today if you hadn't had all those parts in your life and how
Mm.
you might own them as you move forward.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, well, you are top of my reading list at the moment, Tom. And
Thank
I would
you.
encourage all listeners, check out your book. Download it on Kindle or other e-readers, or get a
Yeah, it's on
get a
Kindle.
paper
It's
copy.
my own voice even. Yeah, I recorded it in my own voice, which is a fun story that I writing the book. I should write a book about writing the book. Yeah, it's on Audible, hard copy, paperback. There's even an ebook out there if people prefer that. So thank you for bringing that up today.
Amazing, yeah. And I would, yeah, fully encourage. I mean, well, I would say, probably the biggest takeaway I would say from this conversation, Tom, in terms of the vetting your coach and understanding your own personal needs. Anyone can be a coach, and this is what we alluded to at the beginning. But do your homework on your coach if you really want to make progress in whatever part of your life it is. Vet the person that's going to take you on that journey. Ensure that they have the experience and the skill sets
Absolutely.
to get you through there. And
Yeah,
especially if you are a coach yourself, I definitely
yeah.
check out, Tom and the services that you guys provide, but as well as, if you are in need of coaching, I know that's an area that you'll be able to immediately help with,
Yeah.
Tom.
James, I have never really measured it and I should, but I would guess that it's 10 or 15% of the people that come to me, I refer to other coaches
Mm, mm,
because I've heard what's going on and what they're looking for. And I know coaches that that's their specific thing and they're really going to do well with it. A perfect example is I discover with somebody that behind what's going on is they've been through some sort of really difficult relationship, something we'll just call it toxic.
mm,
Well, I could work with them, but I know someone who is a master at that
yeah,
and I will say, I think go stop off here, clear that, works on that a bit, come back to me about what you're looking for and the things that I can help you with.
yeah,
So it's not whether I could help them because I could. It's a good coach wants you with the best coach for what's going on that you're seeking assistance for, or through listening,
mm,
uncover something that they know you need some specific help with before what you're bringing to the table is really addressed.
yeah, yeah. It's helping. It's with the client in mind first and foremost to get them where they need to be as
Yes.
efficiently and as quickly as possible. Not about just taking as many clients as you can for the money, as it were. Right. I think that's a beautiful insight to finish on, Tom. And I want to say a big thank you for joining today, Tom. It's been absolutely amazing having you on.
Thank you so much, James. It was great to be here with you. I enjoyed our conversation, and I hope your viewers enjoy what we talked about today. You can
Absolutely.
find me at tomlenoble.com. You can find me at the Academy for Coaching Excellence. And I'd love to hear from you if you want to know more. And I hope everyone, whenever this displays, either has a wonderful holiday season or had one.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, Tom. And yeah, a big last thank you to all our listeners. Thank you very much for listening. Please like and share this video so we can get this message out to as many people as possible. Thank you.